how I relate it to farmers. If we have a really good cow that's throwing some really nice calves, man, every single time we take that calf to the barn, we make a ton of money. Would you ever get rid of her? No. Why would you sell her just so that you can start over? That doesn't make sense. It absolutely does not make sense to me. Hello, and welcome back to the podcast. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. Okay, today, let's talk about when can you stop paying your full premium? When can you stop putting money into the paid up additions rider? Oh, right. First, let's start with that. Mary Jo, what is the paid up additions rider? Well, if you are my client, you know the answer to this. If you don't, here's your answer. The paid up additions rider buys immediate death benefit, creates cash value. Okay. In simple terms, that's what it's doing. It is buying instant death benefit, which then creates some instant cash value. That rider is on the policy because that is how we are getting the cash value so quickly. Those of you that know infinite banking and you have studied it well, you understand we need to put the paid up additions rider on the policy to do what we do. All right. I have seen a couple of times now where, and this is just kind of probably more recent, but there used to be this old strategy back in the day, and there are still a couple of agents that teach this. And so we need to get it straight, my friends, that they are saying, hey, you can stop putting money into that paid up additions rider after year 4. Or after year 7, because it's not as efficient. The rate of return is better if you stop and then start another policy. And so I just recently saw something online where somebody said, hey, I'm in year 7 of my policy. I want to stop paying premium. And he wanted to do what's called a reduce paid up. Now, there are other ways that you can stop paying premium or you can reduce premium. Go over to the Without the Bank podcast this week and you'll find it there. What in the world are we talking about? Oh, my Lanta. Why are we going to stop paying premium? So we can start another policy so that the agent makes more money? If you are being told that you should be starting another policy after year 4 or after year 7 because you're going to make a better rate of return, that is complete and utter bogusness. We have this guy in the industry that's created all these calculators and he's like a numbers genius. He has gone through examples of, okay, if I stop paying premium at year 4, if I stop paying PUA at year 4 and start another policy, what does it look like in the end? At the end of the day, the numbers are nearly exactly the same. Why? That you all know. If you've read the book and you haven't maybe met with me yet or you don't have a policy, but those of you that have read the book and you've met with me, you know your policy starts to cash flow at about year 4 or 5. Typically, okay, not always, but typically, year 4 or 5. You break even at about year 10, 7 to 10. So what that means is when I say you're going to cash flow is if your premium is $20,000 a year, at year 4 or 5, your cash value goes up by $20,000 after you pay premium. If on the break even, if at year 7, you've put in $140,000, your cash value will be $140,000. If you've paid $140,000 in premium, your cash value will be $140,000. That's either happening year 7 to year 10. You can see it in the book. You can see it in both of my books. You can see it in life. You can see it in farming. You can see it in Nelson's book. But what are we doing? As soon as that thing gets efficient, we're like, oh, we're going to stop and we're going to stop putting money into PUA and we're going to stop funding it and we're going to start another policy and we're going to recapitalize. The piece of the policy that is the hardest for people to understand is when they have to start and they're like, I don't get access to all my money. Well, you don't get access to any of your money in a 401k or an IRA, but let's not talk about that. So why would you stop funding it? The compounding is starting. The interest is accumulating based off of how much money you have in the policy. So why would you quit? Why would you start over every single time? This is how I relate it to farmers. We can do the same thing for real estate. It ultimately doesn't matter. But if we have a really good cow that's throwing some really nice calves, man, every single time we take that calf to the barn, we make a ton of money. If we are selling bulls and we have a really good cow that just has the most beautiful bull calves, and we have that, she is the highest selling bull in every single sale. Would you ever get rid of her? No, 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 no. No, no, no. You flush her. You do whatever you can to get all those embryos, because why would you start over? Why would you sell her just so that you can start over? That doesn't make sense. If you are a farmer and you're putting all these nutrients in your ground and you've worked really, really hard, fertilizer, chemical, cover crops, whatever it is you're doing, you get your ground exactly where you need it for nutrients. And guess what? You sell it and start over because it's going to be more profitable to do that. It absolutely does not make sense to me. Oh, I've got a piece of real estate. I've got a rental property that's paid for, that's actually creating some cash flow now. I've got it all fixed up. I've got it right where it needs to go. I'm going to start over. What? Why would you do that? If the long-term goal is long-term cash flow to build the compounding of it, why would you do that? I'm not talking about real estate flippers who are flipping property and starting over all the time because they're constantly having to start over, right? They're not building this compounding of money coming in. I just don't understand. When I saw this comment, the guy is chasing a rate of return. I don't have my cap down here that says it's not about a rate of return. It is so not about a rate of return. You guys have heard me scream and yell about this for years. It is about liquidity and access to money. In this particular situation, it is about uninterrupted compound interest. Why don't you just restart your 401k all the time or your IRA all the time? You're compounding off of whatever that big number is. If you are being told that you should stop putting money into the paid-up additions, you should stop paying your full premium, that because you should start over, that is complete bogus. And here's the thing. If you are told you can only put money into a PUA for 4 or 7 years, that's also a lie. Because most likely, your policy will go longer than that, depending on how it was structured. Now, if you have a policy that was really low, like a lot of money into PUA, then you might not be able to. It might mech the policy. But if you have a policy that was structured typically like a 50-50 blend or 60-40 or 25-75 or something, you're not maxing it out to the very last penny for your mech, then you will have the ability to put money in longer. Have your agent run an in-force illustration to the mech and have them send you that. It will say somewhere in that illustration where it mechs. You will know exactly how much money you put in. If they will not give you an illustration to the mech, now this is if you have a policy for infinite banking. If you do not have a policy in infinite banking and you have some sort of universal life or IUL or something like that, and it's already structured and it's not done correctly, you're not going to be able to do this. But if you are working with a so-called infinite banking agent, and you have a policy that they will not give you an in-force illustration for, so you, with the full premium going in, I want to keep paying money into my PUA, and I want to see when it mechs. If they won't give you that, they are lying to you about the fact that you can't put more money in. We have seen that recently too, where there is an agent that is selling infinite banking policies, and the client asked for an in-force illustration. How long can I put the money in? And the agent said, oh, you can only put it in for 7 years. And I said, the hell you can. You can put it in forever. because of how that policy was structured. I'm like, I know for a fact you can put PUAs in until the day you die. His agent did not know how to run that in-force illustration. Yet this guy is so-called IBC. This is exactly why you use an agent that understands what you're doing and an agent that is not just looking for commission. They're everywhere, my friends. I wish that I could say they were not wrapped up in the IBC community, but they are. We have to do our due diligence. It is your money. You need to ask the question. And I'm glad that this individual asked the question, because there were a lot of people that were telling him, you should be paying forever. You should be paying forever. Why would you ever stop paying that premium? Why are we starting over? Why are we making this so hard? And then some people will say, well, in Nelson's book, he put $40,000 in a year for 4 years and then he quit. He did that in the book for illustration purposes. He did not do that in real life. He told you pay premium until the day you die. Why would you ever stop? It doesn't make sense to ever stop. 0 cents at all. Why would you ever stop feeding the animal of compounding? I don't get it. I don't understand. Oh, we're chasing a rate of return. Then go buy an IRA, because this is not about a rate of return. I'm recording this Monday morning, 8:30, and I'm already worked up. It's going to be a good week, my friends. Okay. If you have questions on that, set up your appointment. Let's talk. If you're a client and you have questions on that, set up your appointment. Let's revisit it. Pay attention to your emails. If you are a client, we are doing client-only webinars. You are getting emails to invite you to the webinar. This is Thursday mornings at 7:30. It is not every Thursday. It is every other Thursday. So if you are not getting those emails, you need to let us know. Email me, Mary Jo at Without the Bank. We will make sure that you get those emails. But these are all the things we're going to go over. It is your opportunity to ask me questions. As a group, we are here to continue to educate. So if you're a client listening to this, if you're a client that doesn't listen, well, then I guess I can't help you. But if you're a client that's listening to this, then make sure that you are reaching out to us and you let us know. Those are going to be recorded. They're going to be sent out to you. Only clients have access to this. So if you are not a client, I am sorry, you do not have access. If you become a client, you will get access. Okay. Let me know if you need anything, if you've not gotten the book yet. If you have questions about what another agent has fed you, I will let you know if it's real or if it's fake. We have to start clearing up these misconceptions. All right, you guys, you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next podcast.
Thanks for listening to the Farming Without the Bank podcast. We hope today's episode has inspired you to take control of your finances in new ways. Don't forget to check out our website, farmingwithoutthebank.com, and engage with us on our Facebook page, Farming Without the Bank. Join us next week as we smash more financial myths and empower you to accomplish your financial goals.